Duke University campus, the site of this first round NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship battle featuring Virginia scored 17 goals. It advances and knocks out St. Joe's. And so we'll find out who will advance next to the quarter. To Liam Entenman in the ACC. And away we go, Dixie. Duke with one last game here at Koskinen Stadium, looking to make a similar run to champion. He's number 6 in the black today. This is Tyler Bradbury at X. Moyer cut off. That one's wide, stays here with the Utes.
And you saw Utah's physically, you can see the size of the Duke poles. I mean, those are just some big bodies inside.
Nice cut to the cage that time, and the shot hits off the pipe.
Midfield. He finds Zawada. That was as easy as it gets. And Lenskold makes the big stop. Both teams getting quality looks in their first offensive shots.
There's a score for found some open real estate, goal line extended, and Utah gets on the board first.
To Carpenter, number 33 in white. And McAdory didn't cover anybody. And that leaves Bradbury all by.
Bradbury with the first goal of this first round battle. Bradbury's got it here, slips by, bouncer is wide. In Charlotte, one-handedly, but then got bounced by Notre Dame, final 16-6, so some highs, some lows last weekend in Charlotte. There's a rip and a score. Dyson, this attackman of the nation, ties this thing up.
Johnston, eyes up, talented freshman. Dyson Williams just leaks out the backside. You have
Denenza couldn't quite get free, and back to O'Neal, so he starts to go to work. Zawada, he's got 2 in the first quarter.
That fake little pick right there gets 1, 2, 3. Red helmets staring down 34. Zawada sees. It's a releasable foul.
So the Utes now try to work it around the box on the man up, where they've scored 17 man up goals this year. Add another. Andriella ties things up in 2.
Who grew up just down the street in Raleigh. Good ball rotation, good step.
And Zawada have the 2 Duke goals, bookended by a couple of Utes scores. Late shot clock offense now. This is O'Neal. Bounces it through. Award winner has got his first in his first round battle.
Good defense. The shorties holding their own, but this is O'Neal, and he's a different animal. Or not. That he sometimes gets frustrated with games and disappears. If Utah can take him out of his rhythm and if that's true, quote unquote, make him disinterested, that could be a break. That's not going to be on the highlight reel.
How about Johnson, by the way, burns the upper right corner.
And he got the Utah defense on skates, meaning they couldn't recover after their slide. Championship against Jacksonville. Air Force was the host. Utah won the championship.
Here's the player of the year in the conference. Steins caught a piece of the pipe. That's a
wrinkles in or
right.
Any new philosophy in. So we're expecting to get a tenacious, fast-paced Utah team, and that's what they're getting.
O'Neal, the step down. He faked a shot and then took it. Strike.
But here's what he does when he feels pressure. Boylston comes out with not the best approach.
The Blue Devils are back into their offensive third.
O'Neal has been in the spotlight ever since he was in grade school.
Back in the spotlight, Jake Naso.
And no one accounts for number 56 in white. And when he gets the pill in his stick, he can.
Jamison tracked that one the whole way.
And here comes transition opportunity. McGuire.
Here he is. Feeds the left side. Zawada buries it afterward. It's now 7-2. There was contact on the pass.
Watch McGuire just run through the checks, dishes it, and they're lucky that that's an interference.
In that national championship game, and boy, if they make it back to championship weekend, I think might be pretty obvious. It seemed like Notre Dame is going to be there again. Good fake. That's a great pass from And so Dyson Williams now joins his fellow attackmen, Zawada and O'Neal.
Kind of O'Neal, Williams, and Zawada. This is what you call trust. Williams just slides off, 5 yards and in, but that's...
I might have gone 1 for 1 from that territory as well.
That's what he's paid to do. That is what Dyson Williams.
Close range, knocked down, but they've won now back-to-back years their conference tournament championship. The westernmost program in Division got another goal here in the second, and that's Ryan Steins. It's his first of the day.
But a little wrinkle, they're now moving him out into the midfield, running him out of the box so he can get a short stick on the offensive end. They'll run 11, 12, 13 bodies through.
It is a deep midfield group. There's a rip, and that one stings the upper left Art with his 18th goal of the season. And from distance there, it's back.
Listen to the pipe. I love goals like this, Kevin. Oh! It is a sack last weekend for Duke.
And that big win against Syracuse worked at his advantage. McAdory scored 5 goals in that game. Utah looking to go back to work. Andriella couldn't. O'Neal facing a lot of pressure there with some tenacious checks. Zawada back to McAdory. McAdory bounces it in. A great move to free the hands. And Duke responds.
For Lenskold, look at the quickness. Ooh. Just puts his feet in the dirt. We're upset in the championship game of that conference. By who? Robert Morris.
Yeah, program they had built for 10 years prior.
And now he's out west under now Virginia offense coordinator Kevin Cassis at Lehigh. So if the Mountain Hawks win, you're going to have Kevin Cassis facing his old team next week.
Oh, Utah with a strike sequence. It's Tyler Bradbury with his second goal of the game. He scored the first. It's 9-5.
I mean, look at this thing. So slick, so smooth, on a rope. And Bradbury, what I love.
It is a very veteran and experienced offensive unit. So Steins, the player of the year in the conference, he's the baby of this group. Spent 3 years with the program. Yeah, that is to the rack. Wonderfully done.
And again, the referees called it interference in the first quarter. Let's see what they mete out.
Duke looking to cash in. Doubling up Utah late in the second. McAdory, low to high. Lenskold.
Shut off Brennan O'Neal. You say no big deal, it's 5-on-4. Well, it threw Duke for a loop. Utah got the ball on the...
Vocal about how last year they let the moment get a little too big. They're able to regather it here. Unsettled situation. That was last touched by Hyde.
You look at other teams with Liam Entenmann and Matt Nunes for Notre Dame and Virginia respectively. Hopkins, Chase, Erlin. Some older guys, and Lenskold, only a sophomore.
Oh, he's got a hat trick now, Dixie. Dyson Williams, one of the deadliest attacks.
Nice little back cut by Dyson Williams, 51 in white. And that is kids. And some have announced their commitments. Some to North Carolina. One's coming here to Duke. But this game's going to look, and these rosters are going to look drastically different next year.
Of attack. Jordan Hyde that time trying to muscle by a couple of Blue Devils.
Below GLE. And then whoop, beats the 70 inches of titanium of Kenny Brower. And I like how he keeps his body. Punished that post. I think I can still see the post actually crying and rubbing its, rub it like you're rubbing its arm.
I always wanted to be a golf club. There's another score for Duke.
Utah catches a break with the pipe shot from O'Neal, and then I just thought that the feed was ill-advised. A little careless. Virginia Tech women's, if they got men's programs, I tell you, the sky's the limit in terms of recruiting potential, competition evening, and other positives for the sport.
And he's got it back to a 6-goal game again. So they continue to answer.
Control a rebound, so incredibly important for goalies, primarily.
Now they work it back at the top of the box. Less than 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Andriella couldn't get a clean shot off. Duke takes over, and they'll begin to clear.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Utah. That shot from Steins hit off the leg of Jordan Hyde, and it changed the trajectory of the ball going out of bounds, and that allowed, and they pay off on the other end.
And Zawada was able to get topside there.
And that one is no exception, and Zawada takes
deep teams. Duke right now with the comfortable advantage. They've got possession once again. Oh, Denenza got his hands free and he buries it. Some space. It's now an 8-goal advantage.
6'3", 220. Watch the wingspan, though, as he gets those hands free, his arms back.
In terms of shots on goals, they've got another look here right in front. Williams, spin, bouncer. That's easy. In a row for the Blue Devils. Their longest scoring.
So pretty. Sharing the rock, the catch. And this is not an easy catch.
Another dynasty-type run, we'll see. But first, they got to get through Notre Dame today. Tomorrow, rather, in their first-round battle. There's a rip, but it's right at Jamison. And a similarly complete team, it feels, is the squad that we're watching today. That is Duke. If they play consistent lacrosse, oh, great find. Zawada will backpedaling away from the cage. And Josh Zawada has another score.
Vision number 8 in white. Another player that got some opportunity in that regular stage there, trying to put together a full 60 minutes of lacrosse.
A rip, that one was blocked down in front.
And you know, let's get back to the conversation around schools like Utah, schools like Michigan, picking up programs.
That was a big strike, by the way, Max Slope. And so Duke extends its lead to 18-7.
First midfield most of the season, but he has been asked to take on more of a role on the second line. You think about Utah athletics, you know, a lot of people that know think about Rick Majerus and his basketball teams, Keith Van Horn making runs to the Final Four.
Oh, how about that behind the back? Stinson Williams, a little flare here in the fourth quarter. That's 19 goals now for Duke.
Catch and the BTB. An exclamation point for the Duke Blue Devils here in the Big Ten. USC has a women's team. It would be fantastic to see the growth of the game at these power conferences, adding that men's sport. Right now, there's only 73. It was Air Force. And they lose 12-11 to the Falcons, and they didn't look back since. I mean, we're talking an Atlantic Sun tournament. McAdory, other than him, who can create offense? But today, it belongs to Duke.
The Blue Devils advance to the quarterfinals. The 7 fell behind 2-1, and then went on a huge run to take the lead for good. In that for assists, and there were several players with multi-point performances today.
An impressive